part of it. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not.
All right. So family, today's lesson is train up a child. Train up a child. How we know that, that us as parents, grandparents, children too, right? We're gonna have some questions for y'all, but how do you know that you training your child up the right way? Because everyone has their own different way of parenting, right? In this world, the things that some people think is okay, things they allow them to do, the things that we teach our children, right? So by show of hands, does anybody know how we know that we training up a child the right way or in a good way? It's too much parent. No, it's for the parents. Any parents in here? How do we know? Does anyone not know?
I'm talking about the old way.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
According to scripture, train a child.
Akan.
Just having a foundation of the Most High.
You talking about the for the truth or during the truth?
It's a question. Now, how do you know that you train up a child the right way?
Well, I know that now I know the proper way to raise a child. We raise them in accordance with the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. But back then, all we had was the way our parents did.
To kind of like lean into our own understanding of what we've been taught. Anybody else? All right, so yeah, all of those were some good points, and if we don't know, or we were just winging, of course you're saying, well, according to the Most High, right? Want to know what the Most High expect from us, because in this world it's kind of just get them through school, and boy, girl, you better behave. Girl, don't have no babies. Boy, don't you go to jail, get you a good job. Just whatever. Just as many different things, right? That's just to name a few. So we're going to go into this word and just see what the Most High. So children too, you should definitely be listening and taking these notes and to know what the Most High expect from you as well, so that you can live a good life, right? According to the Most High, and that he's pleased with how you being brought up, and if you applying it, so you could protect yourself in this world. Because if you don't got the Most High, you just walking blind and in darkness, and you're gonna fall for a lot of traps. A lot of manipulation in the world, a lot of deceiving, a lot of just a lot of traps. So we're gonna go into the word and see what the Most High say. So bless and praise the Most High. Let's go into Deuteronomy chapter 4. To see what the Most High got to say, right? Let's start it at verse 5.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Who's speaking here?
Most High. Or Moses.
This is Moses, right? Giving them the word of the Lord. This is Moses telling the Israelites, right? Finish reading.
Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
So this what? What is this that he's giving? The wisdom and understanding, right? He's giving you statutes and judgments and commandments. This is your wisdom. So this is what real wisdom is. Finish reading.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who hath God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon for him? And what nation is there so great, that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day?
So think about it, family. This law, you know what this law is because you've been given a little bit, right? Go to hold that. Go to Romans chapter 10. But still hold what you got. Let's start at verse 1. Romans chapter 10, verse 1.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 10 and verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God.
So our people have a zeal of God, right? I kind of know what's right from wrong. Even when you do wrong, you know you wrong, right? Some really don't. They might have been taught that the good is evil. So we have a zeal of the Lord, but what?
But not according to knowledge.
So not according to knowledge. We know that the knowledge of the Most High is His law, the law, statutes, commandments. So this is how you're going to get your knowledge about the Most High in your wisdom and know how to move in this earth. Finish reading.
Verse 3. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness.
So we didn't really know the Most High's righteousness, even in a lot of the churches, right? They just kind of make it up, but granted, there's people that is loving people, they not gonna murder, rob, steal, kill, so they know a little bit, right? So he say, we being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness, but what?
And going about to establish their own righteousness.
And that's what we do, right? We go try to establish our own righteousness,
have not submitted themselves unto righteousness of God.
So we gotta submit ourselves to the righteousness of the Most High. And we know that His law is righteous, right? Get that precept for their notes. What's that? Psalms 140, Psalm 119, 142.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
So the law is the truth, and this is what's righteous. So once you know this, then you start holding yourself accountable, right? Go back to what you got in Deuteronomy chapter 4.
Picking up in Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 8. And what nation is there so great, that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? Only take heed to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons.
So you're supposed to teach them about the ways of the Most High, right? This is what you have to do. This is number one, right? So a lot of people not really teaching, especially in today's world, because it's so much, you go to school, you learn in different ways. You just have to accept all the religions. You have to just accept, the things that they putting out there, all the sodomite stuff, all on, all in the phones, all on the internet. So even under the earlier captivity of us coming to America, we are stronger as a people. Right now, we say we have more freedom, but yet the children are more destroyed because we don't really know the laws of the Most High. We don't know what He expects. We don't know history. We don't know nothing. So we got to know this. And even if if you're older, some of your grandparents, and you finding the truth now, and now you learning the laws of the Most High, well, you probably got some grandkids, and it's time for you to, give it to them, right? So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 16. So it's plenty of work you could be doing, right, for the Most High.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5 and verse 16. Honor thy father and thy mother, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee.
And so children, honor your father and your mother. That's what the Most High commands.
That thy days may be prolonged.
So your day is gonna be prolonged if you honoring your father and your mother, right? Especially if they teaching you the ways of the Most High. Because a lot of people, they don't live a long time. They go against what their parents say, right? A lot of people in graveyards, they might be doing a lot of time. Drugs, parents told them don't do drugs. A lot of things that parents tell you children that is good for you. So you want to make sure that you doing these things and honor your parents. Finish reading.
And that it may go well with thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not kill,
Mm-hmm.
neither shalt thou commit adultery.
And a lot of people, this is what's tearing the people up. Finish reading.
Verse 19, neither shalt thou steal,
Mm-hmm.
neither shalt thou bear false witness against thy neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
neither shalt thou desire thy neighbor's wife,
Mm-hmm.
neither shalt thou covet thy neighbor's house, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant,
Mm-hmm.
his ox, or his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor's.
So this is the ways of the Most High. This is what he gave to the children of Israel. Now let's go. Let's see some examples. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 2. First Samuel chapter 2. Let's start at verse 12.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2 and verse 12. Now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial.
Mm-hmm.
They knew not the Lord.
So these sons of Eli, they were serving the devil, huh? That's what Belial is. Finish reading.
And the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servant came, while the flesh was in seething, with a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his hand. And he struck it into the pan, or kettle, or cauldron, or pot. All that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took from himself. So they did in Shiloh unto all the Israelites that came thither. Also before they burnt the fat, the priest's servant came and said to the man that sacrificed, Give flesh to roast for the priest, for he will not have sodden flesh of thee, but raw. And if any man said unto him, Let them not fail to burn the fat presently, and then take as much as thy soul desireth, then he would answer him, Nay, but thou shalt give it me now, and if not, I will take it by force. Wherefore the sin of the young men was very great before the Lord, for men abhorred the offering of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But Samuel ministered before the Lord, being a child, girded with a linen ephod.
So Samuel was brought up. He's trying to serve the Most High the right way, but it was some children that wasn't, right? Finish reading.
Picking up at verse 19. Moreover, his mother made him a little coat and brought it to him from year to year, when she came up with her husband to offer the yearly sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And Eli blessed Elkanah.
Does anyone know what the yearly sacrifice is? Does anyone know what the yearly sacrifice is?
The Passover?
You have to go up to Jerusalem how many times a year?
3.
Khan, that's what that's talking about. If you need that precept, it's Deuteronomy chapter 16. Finish reading.
Verse 20. And Eli blessed Elkanah and his wife, and said, The Lord give thee seed of this woman for the loan which is lent to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And they went unto their own home. And the Lord visited Hannah, so that she conceived and bare 3 sons and 2 daughters. And the child Samuel grew before the Lord. And Eli was very old, and heard all this, and heard all that his sons did unto Israel.
So Eli had 2 sons that was doing some wickedness, right? And they knew better, but they were just going against the Most High. It's going to get into it. Finish reading.
And how they lay with the woman that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
So they was out there just fornicating, trying to get them some women. That's what they was doing when they was coming, to deal with the Most High's tabernacle, right? Finish reading.
And he said unto them, Why do ye such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. Nay, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear ye make the Lord's people to transgress.
But how do they make the Lord's people transgress? Do anyone know that? How do they make the Lord's people transgress by doing the stuff they doing?
Outsiders looking in.
That's one.
Stumbling block.
That's two. Yeah, because if they sinning against the Most High and they supposed to be men that's represent the Most High, they start making the people. They got the women going off now. They got the other men like, well, maybe we could do some of that too, right? Finish reading.
Verse 25. If one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against the Lord, who shall entreat for him? Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto the voice of their father, because the Lord would slay them. And the child Samuel grew on, and was in favor both with the Lord and also with men.
Mm-hmm. Because Samuel was standing up for the Lord, right? He was doing it the right way. They seen that he was serious about the Most High's business. He was who he said he was, right? Finish reading.
And there came a man of God unto Eli, and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Did I plainly appear unto the house of thy father, when they were in Egypt in Pharaoh's house? And did I choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest?
Who's the priest? What tribe is the priest of the Most High?
Levi.
Come, finish reading.
To offer upon my altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me. And did I give unto the house of thy father all the offerings made by fire of the children of Israel? Wherefore kick ye at my sacrifice and at mine offering?
So how y'all gonna disrespect my offering and sacrifice? Do y'all know what I did to your forefathers leaving Egypt? Finish reading.
Wherefore kick ye at my sacrifice and at my offering, which I have commanded in my habitation?
He commanded this,
And honorest thy sons above me.
So, hold on. You honoring your sons before the Most High, huh? You not gonna check your sons about this? Finish reading.
To make yourselves fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of Israel my people? Wherefore the Lord God of Israel saith, I said indeed that thy house and the house of thy fathers should walk before me forever. But now the Lord saith, Be it far from me. For them that honor me I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed.
So if we walking with the Lord, right, then he with us. It's not a thing like I'm waiting to be chosen by the Most High. He got to show me. Well, as long as he show me, then I'm gonna come to that. No, you always gotta have that sacrifice, right? You gotta come to him in sincerity, right? Finish reading.
Verse 31. Behold, the days come that I will cut off thine arm and the arm of thy father's house, that there shall not be an old man in thine house. And thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation, and all the wealth which God shall give Israel.
What does that mean, gonna cut off the arm? They're not gonna have no strength in that household. Finish reading.
And there shall not be an old man in thine house forever. And the man of thine, whom I shall not cut off from mine altar, shall be to consume thine eyes, and to grieve thine heart. And all the increase of thy house shall die in the flower of their age. And this shall be a sign unto thee, that shall come upon thy two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they shall die, both of them.
So, because of all the wickedness and they just not repenting and thinking it's a game, now the whole seed is going to be destroyed. To whom much is given, much is required. Let's go into it.
Verse 35. And I will raise me up a faithful priest, that shall do according to that which is in mine heart and in my mind. And I will build him a sure house, and he shall walk before mine, anointed forever. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left in thine house shall come and crouch to him for a piece of silver and a morsel of bread, and shall say, Put me, I pray thee, into one of the priest's offices, that I may eat a piece of bread.
All right. Let's get some precepts on that. Let's get Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is older, he will not depart from it.
So if you train up a child the way of the Lord, then he gonna come back to that, right? If you got the foundation. If you give them that foundation early, no matter if things happen in their life, they gonna end up with that foundation, with the Most High. You know, this world, the Most High, know it's a lot of, you warring in this flesh. There's a lot of things out here, but even if you had some of that church foundation before you really knew the Bible and you knew that this word was alive like this, and you knew history, you still had that foundation to know, like, nah, I'm hanging on to this. I don't care what I'm going through. I'm hanging on to this word. I'm holding on to that God, right? The God of the Bible. I see what they doing over there in Islam, but I'm going to hold on to this. It's power with this. So having your foundation, so children, always know, for you children, especially what I'm going to say right here, right? Y'all make sure y'all hold on to this word, no matter what someone, I don't care how many years go by, 10, 5, 10, 15, y'all always stick to this, no matter how hard life get at time. This was going to get you through. All right? Let's go back to 2 Samuel chapter 3. Because it's not just you just reading a storybook. It's a lot of examples in here of people going through things that you could get some strength in. It's a lot of examples that you could learn from. What's going to come after you do what you're supposed to do. You just hang in there. A lot of people was rewarded for keeping their faith up in the Most High, right? Bring that out.
Say second Samuel.
It's like your first Samuel. Yeah. Yeah, first Samuel.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 3 and verse 1. And the child Samuel ministered unto the Lord before Eli. And the word of the Lord was precious in those days. There was no open vision. And it came to pass at that time when Eli was laid down in his place, and his eyes began to wax dim, that he could not see.
So Eli was becoming an old man at this time, right? Finish read.
Verse 3. And ere the lamp of God went out in the temple of God, so like it, in the temple of the Lord, where the ark of God was, and Samuel was laid down to sleep, that the Lord called Samuel, and he answered, Here am I. And he ran unto Eli and said, Here am I, for thou callest me. And he said, I called not. Lie down again. And he went and lay down. And the Lord called yet again Samuel. And Samuel arose and went to Eli and said, Here am I, for thou didst call me. And he answered, I called not. My son, lie down again. Verse 7. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, neither was the word of the Lord yet revealed unto him.
Because he was a young boy at this time, right? Finish reading.
And the Lord called Samuel again the third time. And he arose and went to Eli and said, Here am I, for thou didst call me. And Eli perceived that the Lord had called the child. Therefore Eli said unto Samuel, Go lie down, and it shall be, if he call thee, that thou shalt say, Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. And the Lord came and stood and called, as at other times, Samuel, Samuel. Then Samuel answered, Speak, for thy servant heareth. And the Lord said to Samuel, Behold, I will do a thing in Israel, at which both the ears of every one that heareth it shall tingle. In that day I will perform against Eli all things which I have spoken concerning his house. When I begin, I will also make an end. Verse 13. For I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knoweth, because his sons made themselves vile, and he restrained them not. And
So why was his sons judged? Why was Eli and his sons gonna be judged, family?
Because they knew the laws, but they were still going against them.
Con. Finish reading.
Verse 14. And therefore I have sworn unto the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be purged with sacrifice nor offering forever. And Samuel lay unto the morning and opened the doors of the house of the Lord. And Samuel feared to show Eli the vision. Then Eli called Samuel and said, Samuel, my son. And he answered, Here am I. And he said, What is the thing that the Lord hath said unto thee? I pray thee, hide it not from me.
How would the Lord come and deal with the most? This is for precepts and for learning too, for the future, family. So you could know when you talk to people. How was the Lord dealing with them? What were they seeing when it says the word of the Lord came unto me? Does anyone know? Does anyone know?
The word is the Holy
Vision?
Spirit. The word is the Holy Spirit. So that word.
Go to 1 Kings. Well, hold that.
Yeah, I'm good.
We're gonna get to it today. Let's start at chapter 8. Let's start from the top.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 8 and verse 1.
Paint this picture.
Then Solomon assembled the elders of Israel, and all the heads of the tribes, the chief of the fathers of the children of Israel, unto King Solomon in Jerusalem, that they might bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the city of David.
Now this was after Samuel's time, right? We're talking about during the time of Solomon. Finish reading.
Which is in Zion. Verse 2. And all the men of Israel assembled themselves unto King Solomon at the feast in the month Ethanim, which is the 7th month. And all the elders of Israel came, and all the elders of Israel came, and the priests took up the ark. And they brought up the ark of the Lord and the tabernacle of the congregation, and all the holy vessels that were in the tabernacle. Even those did the priests and the Levites bring up. And King Solomon and all the congregation of Israel that were assembled unto him were with him before the ark, sacrificing sheep and oxen that could not be told nor numbered for multitude. And the priest brought in the ark of the covenant of the Lord unto his place, into the oracle of the house, to the most holy place, even under the wings of the cherubims. For the cherubims spread forth their 2 wings over the place of the ark.
Pay attention, family.
And the cherubims covered the ark and the staves thereof above.
So like when you see this Ark of the Covenant we got right here, finish reading.
And they drew out the staves, and the ends of the staves were seen out in the holy place before the oracle. And they were not seen without, and they are unto this day. There was nothing in the ark save 2 tables of stone, which Moses put there at Horeb, when the Lord made a covenant with the children of Israel.
This is the part right here, family.
When they came out of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass, when the priests were come out of the holy place, that the cloud filled the house of the Lord.
So it's a what? It's a what when the Most High comes?
Cloud?
Come. Just read it. So the cloud would come, right? Just like when the cloud would lead them during the time of Moses and them through the Red Sea. Remember?
Yeah.
So always remember that. Jot that down. Let's go back to what we had in 1 Samuel. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to read it again from verse 10. And it came to pass, when the priests were come out of the holy place, that the cloud filled the house of the Lord. so that the priest could not stand to minister because of the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
For the glory of the Lord had filled the house of the Lord.
Mm-hmm. So now you have that, family. Let's go back to 1 Samuel chapter 3.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 3, picking up at verse 17. And he said, what is the thing that the Lord hath said unto thee? I pray thee, hide it not from me.
Mm-hmm.
God do so to thee, and more also, if thou hide anything from me.
Eli begging them, and don't hide what the Lord has, what the Most High said. Don't hide that from me. Uh-huh.
If thou hide anything from me of all the things that he said unto thee. And Solomon told him every whit, and hid nothing from him. And Samuel told him everything, every whit, and hid nothing from him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, it is the Lord. Let him do what seemeth him good. And Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and did let none of his word fall to the ground. And all Israel from Dan even to Beersheba knew that Samuel was established to be a prophet of the Lord.
Mm-hmm. So they knew Samuel the one. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus and Apocrypha. Let's go chapter 30.
I kind of remember some scriptures where they already had it open. I kind of knew he was going to go there.
Bring that up.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 1. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod,
Mm-hmm.
that he may have joy of him in the end.
Because you just letting your children do what they want to do when they want to do. We ain't saying, just be gorilla on your children, right? But you got to give them some correction so they can know right from wrong. Finish reading.
He that chasteneth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance.
Mm-hmm.
He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead. For he hath left one behind him that is like himself.
Mm-hmm. So all this with this awakening, right? For you men, with your children, right? Women too. Just know that now your children earlier know what's to come. They know, more than what they know more than you did at the age you're at now about what's to come to this world. So they got the upper hand, right?
God.
Finish reading.
Verse 5. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends.
Mm-hmm.
He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds, and his bowels will be troubled at every cry. And horse not broken becometh headstrong, and a child left to himself will be willful.
Some just headstrong, can't get right? Finish reading.
Conquer thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness. Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him.
So sometimes, being the cool parent isn't always a good thing. Being I'm just like my friend. Sometimes, who gonna let them know when it's a serious situation? You got to make sure that they know, that they respecting their father and mother, right? Finish reading.
Unless thou gnash thy teeth in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Give him no liberty in his youth,
Mm-hmm.
and wink not at his follies.
Yeah, don't just, that's cute. No, get your butt over there. What you doing? You wasn't raised like that, right? Finish reading.
Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child.
Y'all don't go to school telling him that. Finish read.
Lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart. Chastise thy son, and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee.
Man, lewd behavior will be an offense to you, right? Just a whole headache. This boy, this girl, just a whole headache. Can't get right. So that's why what, family? We gotta know so the next generations could do it better than what we did, right? Or what we do, right? Now they know, okay, now you know the ways of the Most High. Now you know there's a law. Now you know accountability. Now you know this is what's cool. Don't fall for their programming. Now they know the programming. They know what America pushing in this world ain't it, right? Let's go to Ephesians chapter 6. Let's go Ephesians chapter 6. Let's start at verse 1.
It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right.
Obey your parents in the Lord. If you know your parents dealing with the Lord, and that's why the parents can't be hypocritical, right? They got to make sure that they walk in this walk, because they going to look at you and be like, I ain't talking that Bible stuff, but look what she doing. Look what he doing, right? Look what my parent is doing. So, see how it go hand in hand? And if they go off, Most High going to preserve them. They going to come back. They going to have their foundation. Whether it's the teenage years, adult years, they going to come back. Finish reading.
Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise.
So that's the first commandment, because that's who the Most High give you children to lead you, right? Finish reading.
That it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth.
Because a lot of people that just, some parents or some children be fighting their parents on TV and stuff like that, and just crazy in the world, right? They don't live a long time. They like get destroyed quick. You don't respect your parents, you don't respect nothing. Finish reading.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath.
So we can't provoke our children to wrath. We gotta explain, why we can't just get your butt out of here. Just being all on them without giving them some understanding why what they doing is wrong, right? Finish reading.
But bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
We'll leave it there. Now, so you gotta make sure that you explaining why this is right, why this is wrong. I like what you're doing. I like that right there. No, that's not it. You gotta guide them the right way, right? And have a little patience sometimes. We all fall short, but you just get back to it. That's why this scripture gonna always have you in pocket and in the right state of mind about how to be. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 21. Let's start verse 18. Because this is what would happen to children too. If you was disobedient before the grace came, when we was under the law in Israel, if you just had a child that just couldn't get right, just hard-headed, don't listen, don't want to serve the Lord, doing every abomination, this is what would happen back when we had the land. The Most High gave us the law. We was on our way with these rules to get the land of Israel. Bring that up.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21 and verse 18. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son.
Nolan, you listening? This is what would happen. Finish reading.
If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father.
If you don't obey the voice of your father, this is what would happen back then,
or the voice of his mother.
Or his mother.
And that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them.
If you didn't listen to your parents at this time,
Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of the city, This our son is stubborn and rebellious.
our son being stubborn and rebellious, we got to do something to him,
He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard.
So he just drinking liquor all day. He a drunkard and he just eat and drink all day,
And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones,
So that's what would happen back then,
that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear.
Because why? It's a lot of things in the land of Israel they had to get up out of there. Like a lot of all this LGBT movement. It would be destroyed. They would get you up out of the land. That was abomination. So that's why you gotta repent and know the ways of the Most High, because judgment being handed out left and right. You know, if you just breaking God's law all day, every day, and you don't care, before you know it, someone you trying to tell the truth to, when you really get in, you start seeing like, man, that person passed away. They made a mockery of this walk. They didn't really want to do it. They didn't really care to learn the ways of the Most High, right? Go to Proverbs 15 and 20. Bring that out, King.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 20. A wise son maketh a glad father.
So a wise son make a glad father,
But a foolish man despiseth his mother.
So if you a foolish man, if you despise your mother, you don't want to listen to your mother, the one that's gonna have your back, that's gonna take care of you, that's gonna be there for you. Granted, it's very few, but there is some that have maybe have a wicked mother, right? That's teaching them to do evil, right? We're gonna go into that. But you know that you got dear mama. You know you got a good mama, right? Finish read that part again.
Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 20. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish man despiseth his mother. Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom, but a man of understanding walketh uprightly.
So you gonna walk uprightly, and you know what's good for you. You know the ways of the Most High is some good understanding and knowledge to lead you in your life. Let's go Proverbs 17, verse 25. 17 verse 25.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 17 and verse 25. A foolish son is a grief to his father.
He be like, man, this dude right here. So hop on it early, so in their older years, like you say, you have joy, like what's that? Ecclesiastes chapter 30 said. Let's go to 2 Chronicles. After the book of Kings, let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 22. Second Chronicles chapter 22. Let's start from verse 1.
This is the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 22 and verse 1. And the inhabitants of Jerusalem made Ahaziah, his youngest son, king in his stead. For the band of men that came with the Arabians to the camp had slain all the eldest. So Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, reigned. 42 years old was Ahaziah when he began to reign. And he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Athaliah, the daughter of Omri. He also walked in the ways of the house of Ahab.
Quiz. Who was Ahab? Who was King Ahab? And what was Ahab doing wrong?
Ain't that in the Kings? That's what I was gonna say, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead, you're right, yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
Jezebel's husband.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Jezebel's husband. What was he doing wrong?
Following after her and
He was simped out.
yeah. She was telling him what to do.
That's a sin, right? Yeah, she was telling him to do wrong though, right? She wasn't really a good woman, like leading, like, you know what, giving him good advice in his kingship about how to rule God's people, right? And how to do right. So she was making him do evil, right? Finish reading.
For his mother was his counselor to do wickedly.
Read verse 3 again.
He also walked in the ways of the house of Ahab. For his mother was his counselor to do wickedly.
So he had an evil mother that was trying to show him some wicked thing. Let me show you how to do it the wicked way, son. Finish reading.
Wherefore he did evil in the sight of the Lord, like the house of Ahab.
Mm-hmm.
For they were in his counselors after the death of his father to his destruction. He walked also after their counsel, and went with Jehoram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel, to war against Hazael, king of Syria, at Ramoth Gilead. And the Syrians smote Joram, and he returned to be healed in Jezreel, because of the wounds which were given him at Ramoth, when he fought with Hazael, king of Syria, and Azariah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, went down to see Jehoram, the son of Ahab, at Jezreel, because he was sick.
Mm-hmm.
And the destruction of Ahaziah was of God by coming to Joram.
Mm-hmm.
For when he was come, he went out to Jehoram against Jehu, the son of Nimshi, whom the Lord had anointed to cut off the house of Ahab. And it came to pass that when Jehu was executing judgment upon the house of Ahab, and found the princes of Judah and the sons of the brethren of Ahaziah that ministered to Ahaziah, he slew them. And he sought Ahaziah, and they caught him, for he was hid in Samaria, and brought him to Jehu. And when they had slain him, they buried him, because said they, he is the son of Jehoshaphat, who sought the Lord with all his heart.
So they gave him a proper burial. They still had honor, right? They still have some honor about King Jehoshaphat. Finish reading.
So the house of Ahaziah had no power to keep still in the kingdom.
But what does mom do after this?
But when Athaliah, the mother of Ahaziah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the seed royal of the house of Judah. But Jehoshaphat, the daughter of the king, took Joash, the son of Ahaziah, and stole him from among the king's sons that were slain, and put him and his nurse in a bedchamber. So Jehoshabeath, the daughter of King Jehoram, the wife of Jehoiada the priest, for she was the sister of Ahaziah, hid him from Athaliah, so that she slew him not. And he was with them hid in the house of God 6 years.
So you see, like, it's not just, we just go through the word and see that it's just everybody who's righteous, right? It's some parents that was wicked, that was teaching their children some wrong, right? So even if someone watching this on the net, and or some of us in here, it's different examples in this word. That's why we say, hold on to this word. This is you get this word for free, like the word say. What's that? Deuteronomy chapter 30. It's not far off. Think about living in this world without this word. You're going to be jacked up. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 26. We're going to be wrapping up soon. Verse 10.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26 and verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through over much liberty.
What's that mean? If she abuse herself through over much liberty. What's that mean? If she got much liberty. Anyone know what that mean? Con. She like, you know what? I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that, right? So too much of that, sometimes you just better gotta say no just cause. Can I go over here this weekend? No, that's 2 weeks in a row. 1 week, no, you know. Finish reading.
Verse 11. Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against thee.
Mm-hmm.
She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he hath found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down, and open her quiver against every arrow.
Let's jump it over. Let's go to just dealing with the parent side of it. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 22. Skip 4 and 5 real quick. We're going to chapter 22 now of Ecclesiastes. Let's get verse 4 and 5.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 22 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband.
So a wise daughter, when she get a husband, she like, this is an inheritance, right? Uh-huh.
But she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness.
He be like, my daughter, oh, she just can't get right. She like them type, she doing this, that, da. So what he say? But she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness. He like, girl, finish reading.
Verse 5. She that is bold dishonoreth both her father and her husband.
Oh, she ain't got no shame. She all on the net doing the most. She knows she got a dad and she got a husband. She's like, it's hot girl summer and all that, right? Read that part again.
She that is bold dishonoreth both her father and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
But they both shall despise her.
Can't stand her, right? Man, I'm stuck with her though. I'm stuck with her, man. I'm stuck with her. Because you in this truth, you in this law, you know, wherever, even in the world, right? Man, got these kids, I'm stuck. Just going through it. So that's why, you know, we read this word. Go to verse 9, let's get 9 and 10. This word is just going to keep us, you know, on the righteous path. Bring that out, verse 9.
Verse 9. If children live honestly and have wherewithal, they shall cover the baseness of their parents.
Mm-hmm.
But children, being haughty through disdain and want of nurture, do stain the nobility of their kindred.
So people be like, oh yeah, what's their last name? Oh, you one of them? So they kindred, right? They stain the nobility of the kindred. What household they from? Right? They be like, So it's you disdaining the whole family. The brothers, the sisters, moms, aunts, uncles, right? All that. So that's why we gotta stay on thus saith the Lord, right? Let's go to Ecclesiastes 12. Or Ecclesiastes. Like it. Get Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Oh, do you, man? We ended.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
So children, what should you do? What's gonna keep you if you do what?
Fear God and keep his commandments.
So if you fear the Lord and keep the commandments, you're gonna be all right. All right, that concludes the lesson. Shalom. Let's pray out. Pray out. Yo, what?
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, Would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, Would God it were morning, for the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord God of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord. And I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall afflict thee. And I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out. And I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. For I will make you a name and a praise among